I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine, I'm unbeatable, I'm creative, honey, you can get it in line.
Hey there everybody, my name is Pearl Motlhabane. So yesterday we saw the neighbors give the court their rendition of the events from that fateful night that claimed Senzo Meyiwa, right? And honestly, I really appreciated the level of detail and context that I got, especially from Nthabisen's testimony, because I felt like she was really trying to give the court details to the best of her ability. So Nthabisen said she was sitting outside in the car with her friend and her friend's child. While they were sitting in the car, minding their business, they heard a loud bang, kind of like a gunshot. At the same time, somebody went past the car, running towards the direction of a nearby park. This was around 8 p.m. At night. Then shortly after, another gunshot went off, now closer to where they were. Then two people ran past the car again, still towards the direction of the park. Now we all know from Zandi's testimony that Longwe was the very first person to run off. When the intruders first barged in, Longwe ran off, and then we never heard never heard of Longwe again. And then Kaya Ngache, the other neighbor, also indicated that him and somebody else ran towards the park at some point. So could these be the people who ran past the car that Nthabisen was in? That's possible. Then after the two men ran past, the third gunshot went off. And at that point, Nthabisen said, at that point, Zandi came running from the Khumalo household, asking Nthabisen to call the ambulance. So Nthabisen said she then picked up the child and ran into her sister's house. Her sister, Maggie Piri, is the one who's also a neighbor to the Khumalo house. She said Zandi came in and then told them Senzo was shot, and then asked them to call an ambulance, and then ran back to the Khumalo house. Now, the other neighbor, Kaya Ngache, had testified that he had heard what sounded like gunshots. He had heard some commotion at the Khumalo house and what sounded like gunshots. He also said the initial noise that he heard from his house sounded like the loud banging of a door. He also said they noticed that somebody had jumped from the Khumalo home into their house, but only told them, no, I'm not the one to be accused, wara, and then jumped back to the Khumalo yard. Upon hearing that the intruders ran into the direction of the nearby park, Kaya said they also went towards the park but did not see anyone. That's when they came back from the park. Then they went into the Khumalo house. That was when they noticed Senzo lying there face up unattended. And then they tried to sit him up and then agreed to take him to the nearest hospital in Senzo's car. Now, I don't know, it seems to me, even if the man could have lived, the panic or whatever commotion played a part in delaying to get him the much needed help. He seems to have laid there for quite a bit without help. Fast forward, Senzo was loaded into his car and then taken to the hospital. I guess the ambulance never came, so they decided they had to take him to the hospital themselves. Then the neighbor, Nthabisen, says she also followed suit to the hospital as well, where Senzo was taken in. She said shortly after, the nurses came out who they can talk to, then proceeded to tell them Senzo had passed on. Now, it was rather odd to me because, usually doctors or nurses do not just give that information to everyone. But these ones, they just came out and told random people that the person they just brought in had passed. Shouldn't they have asked who was Senzo's family first? As I checked, doctors will not disclose even the slightest things about the condition of a patient to someone who was not family. And then I went on to say that whilst she was there at the hospital, she had given her phone to Kelly to make some calls. And when her phone rang later on, it was Mr. Chico Twala. Mr. Chico Twala, father to Longwe, which made me wonder, the first person that you called when something like this happened was Chico? Why? What was the rationale there? Surely it wasn't to say your son ran off while we were being robbed. We were out here looking for him. So what was it? I would have thought that when something like this happens, the first person you would want to call would be that person's mother or close family, or better yet, his wife. The man was still married. This did not make sense at all. I wonder what significance that call has on this case. I mean, someone's son gets fatally shot in your house, and the first person that you call is someone totally unrelated. Why? Why was that so important? But all in all, it's still early days. I guess there's a lot more that we'll get to know in the next couple of days on what happened to this poor man and whether there were really intruders in the house even.